across to Alexey Muraviev, who is an associate professor of national security and strategic studies at Curtin University. He joins us now live from Perth in Australia. Alexey, good to have you on the show. As we're around the 100th day of this Russian invasion, it's looking like the tide of the battle, especially in Ukraine's east, seems to be pulling in Moscow's favor. I mean, I'm sure you're listening to Melinda. If Luhansk falls, is this going to be a tipping point?
Look, I wouldn't be saying if. I would probably be emphasizing on when. And again, we need to understand, and this is something that comes across as a grim reality. Since the start of the invasion, the Russians never gave up on this overall strategic advantage that they managed to gain at the very start of the campaign. Despite the heroic resistance, the Ukrainian forces did not manage to change the tide of events, even by achieving tactical successes on the ground. The Ukrainian military did not were unable to demonstrate any considerable strategic level success. Every time they get some sort of strategic tactical advantage, it's limited in scale. And more recently, the Russians have been able to deflect any attempts by the Ukrainian military to counterattack without relative difficulties. So coming back to your question, well, it's not the change of the tide of events, because storming, for example, the city of Sievierdonetsk, it's not a game changer. Rather than the Russians are simply breaking the defense puzzle that the Ukrainians were building very hard over the past 8 years. And that also explains why it takes such a long time for the Russians to break through those defenses, because the defensive layout that the Ukrainian military have built since about 2014, 2015 can roughly be compared to massive fortifications that, say, the Soviets were trying to storm in Finland back in 1939 and 40, or the Maginot Line that the Germans were trying to bypass during the invasion of France. So it takes a lot of time to get through those defenses.
All right. I'm sure a lot are asking this inevitable question. How does this end?
And that's $1 million guess, because we don't know the end game for Vladimir Putin. Yes, it seems like Donbass is an immediate goal, but this is not where his forces will stop. Already the Russians are saying after securing Donbass, they will need to create some sort of a secure perimeter to ensure that Donbass region will not be threatened by the Ukrainian firepower, meaning that they will have to push their offensive further deep into the Ukrainian territory. And it's in anyone's guess if they will start annexing more territory. They can run with the same argument by simply saying, now we have secured or liberated, in their terms, more land. We now need to ensure the buffer zone extends further westward. So I would probably assume that in the first instance, the Russians want to reach the Dnieper River and take an operational pause there. But my concern is it's not even what's happening in Donbass region, where obviously everyone's attention is focusing on, rather than what will Russia do in the south of the country, in the areas of Mykolaiv as well as Odessa. The fact that there is not much fighting happening over there doesn't necessarily mean that the Russians are digging in and have no intention of going further. I think it's the calm before the storm.
Okay, Alexey Muraviev, thank you very much for joining us here on the NewsHour. Do appreciate the analysis.